man, we lost 2 games in a row now, and half my team is injured, and my receivers forgot how to catch goddamn footballs today. Christian McCaffrey is in Germany somewhere, seeing a witch doctor for his ankle. And the worst thing of all is that we're stuck with a bunch of massive guaranteed contracts. We're paying millions for guys who didn't even show up in this game. I'm not going to name names, but Ayuk, Trent, Debo, Hargrave, you guys were all invisible today. You're all a bunch of worthless dead weight.
Brock Purdy better than Joe Burrow? I don't know. Welcome in, everybody. I'm Seth Floyd Hansen. This is the Seth Floyd Show. Today we are talking Niners Patriots preview, but before we get to that, we're going to talk about something. Brock Purdy, Joe Burrow, and a comparison that's been going around over the internet the last couple of days. Guys, if you want to know how dumb I am, you want to know how stupid I am, I already recorded this video. This is the second time I'm recording this because my stupid ring light, I adjusted it and I didn't test it again, and then the top of my head was like cut off. So just enough, like you could see my eyes and face. Golly, man. This is why I need you guys to like and subscribe to the video so that I can have like a production team and like do this full time so I don't do dumb crap like that because I'm a dummy sometimes. You guys probably already know. Guys, there was this crazy comparison going around between Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy. And it makes it just like really puts into perspective Brock Purdy compared to Joe Burrow and like the disrespect that Brock gets. It's a comparison that shows like just how disrespected Brock Purdy is compared to Joe Burrow. Now I know in my first intro, I'm talking about Brock being better than Burrow, maybe. Obviously, I'm trying to get you guys to stay hook, line, and sinker and watch my video. And Bengals fans, don't come at me. Don't come at me if you feel like I'm being disrespectful to Joe Burrow, because in my prediction videos, you know what I did? If you've seen them, you know. I picked Joe Burrow to win the MVP. I picked the Bengals to be the 1 seed. I picked the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. And you know what I got in return? You know what my thanks was in return? Joe Burrow channels his inner Ellen DeGeneres, turns into a lesbian, and starts the season 0-3. So don't come at me, all right? You haven't been wronged. I've been wronged. I'm the one that has looked like a moron, okay? Also, can we just compare, Josh, if you can, that's fine. The game day fits between Joe Burrow and Brock Purdy. Not that I don't care what you wear, but I just think it's funny. I think it's funny that if you'd showed somebody this in the year 2000 and these were the two quarterbacks, everyone would have been like, what's up with why is Ellen DeGeneres playing football all of a sudden? Versus the guy like, yeah, sure, he wears a really basic outfit. That's what grown men do. They wear basic outfits. And fast forward to 2024, it's Joe Burrow who gets like hyped up because of his fits, because of his drip. And it's Brock Purdy that gets made fun of because he's got Kohl's cash on hand and he loves that Kohl's game day fit. Anyway, I don't care. I really don't care. I was making fun of Debo last week, what he wears. You wear whatever you want. You make that kind of money. You play football. I just think it's funny. Like, the league is different. The society is different than when I was a kid. Because when I was a kid, you would have got made fun of. And you probably would have got beat up a little bit if you dressed like Joe Burrow. But times have changed. That's fine. That's great. Beating up people isn't always a good thing. Sometimes it is, though. Here we go. I got this stat from on the old X, the old twitter.com, okay, from Coach Yak, who's a big 49ers guy, just like a big 49ers account. Okay, Josh, throw it up there. Brock Purdy in his first 24 starts compared to Joe Burrow in his first 24 starts. Brock Purdy, yards, 6,439. Touchdowns, 49. Okay, passer rating, 113.6. Turnovers, 18. So that's Brock Purdy's first 24 starts. Let's look at Joe Burrow's first 24 starts. Yards, 7,103. So roughly 600 more yards, 700 more yards. 650, I think, is the sweet spot there. Touchdowns, 48. He has one less touchdown than Brock Purdy. Passer rating, 98.1. His passer rating is 15 points lower, 15 and a half to be exact, lower than Brock Purdy's. And he has 7 more turnovers than Brock Purdy with 25. Now, again, I'm not saying Brock is better than Burrow. Of course, Burrow has a higher ceiling, a higher potential. Those words are interchangeable, whatever you want to say, because of his physical gifts. But golly, I'm tired of the ceiling argument. Ceiling and potential is like one of the worst philosophies that has ever happened in like scouting and recruiting, okay? Because guys get overlooked. Guys like Brock Purdy get overlooked because of that. He's produced a lot on the field. He's won a lot of football games. He's thrown a lot of touchdown passes. But because of his arm strength, his potential overall is limited. How about instead of prioritizing potential, let's prioritize stuff that's actually happened, not like potential ceiling out in the universe that we don't know whatever's going to happen with whatever. It's intangible. How about we look at the tangible things? Okay, it's just absurd. It's absurd to me. What this comparison does, and I like this comparison with Joe Burrow because Purdy's knock or whatever is that he has a really good coach and he's got weapons around him. Well, Burrow, I don't know what people call Zach Taylor as a head coach. I mean, he's good. He's taken them to the Super Bowl. They've won multiple playoff games because of him. He's got a good scheme. He comes from the McVay tree. So I think he's a good play caller at the very least. And he's had Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. T. Higgins is like a number one on half the teams in the league. T. Higgins is a very good receiver. He's not a top tier receiver, but he's probably better than a 2. I think he's like a 1B. He's like in my opinion, he's kind of in the Brandon Ayuk tier. But whatever. And then he's had Joe Mixon most of his career. I know these 3 games he hasn't, but he's had weapons around him. And so I think it's a very comparable as far as situations go. And it just shows Brock needs to be higher in everyone's rankings. I'm not saying he needs to be top 3. He doesn't even need to be top 5, really. Okay? I've consistently said he needs to be in the 5, 6 to 10 range. And the stats prove it. Let's look up another stat. Let's pull up another stat. Excuse me. Brock Purdy has the most games of 130 passer rating or higher in his first 3 NFL seasons. So take all the quarterbacks in NFL history, look at their first 3 seasons. Nobody has more passer rating games of 130 or more than Brock Purdy. According to StatMuse, he has 9. I think second place is Mahomes or someone with 4 or 5. Guys, again, I'm not saying he's better than Mahomes.
You know what? I'm about to say it.
But what I'm saying is the disrespect is crazy. The only arguments that people have against Brock Purdy at this point are intangible and unquantifiable. Any stat or argument that you give me that can be measured with a number says Brock Purdy is in the top 10 for sure. And a lot of them would say he's closer to 5 than he is to 10. And that's all I want. I want people to consistently say he's for sure a top 10 guy. Pick and choose from there. If you have certain preferences, fine. But he is for sure a top 10 quarterback. Okay? You have no leg to stand on if you think he's outside of the top 10. The only thing you can give me is something that can't be measured. Something that can't be quantifiable. Okay? Because every one of those stats you tried to lean on got debunked last year. The biggest one being, he's a check down merchant. He's a check down merchant. Really, because then they looked into the advanced metrics and, actually Brock has, I don't know if it was the highest, but he was like top 3 in air yards per attempt. Okay, so guys, the only arguments you're ever going to hear from anybody against Brock right now is something that can't be quantified. Can't put a number to it. He's got the Avengers. The Avengers just make him better. Okay, cool. So you're going to argue something that can't be disproven, and then you'll go to bed at night feeling like you won the argument. This is the dumbest thing ever. He's going to have a Drew Brees type of career. Hopefully it includes a Super Bowl like Drew Brees, where slowly over time he's going to just keep doing it and finally everyone will be like, all right, fine, I guess he's actually pretty good. That's what I think is going to happen. If he walks like a duck and he talks like a duck, then he's a duck. Look at all the stats. In this case, duck being a top 10 quarterback, maybe a top 5 quarterback, depending on who you talk to. He just is. I'm sorry that he doesn't have the biggest arm. I'm sorry he's not the biggest guy. I'm sorry that he was drafted last in the draft. He is good. He's good. Everything backs it up. Everything backs it up. It's absurd, guys. It's absurd that he doesn't get the respect he deserves. And then I think what is sparking this is because last week he didn't have George Kittle, CMC, or Debo, and look what he did. Look what he did. Hitting Jennings. Okay, he only hit through 8 incomplete passes, guys. He threw 8 incompletions all game, and depending on where you look, I saw some people say as many as 6 of those incompletions were drops. Some say 4, 6. Regardless, if you don't have those drops and he only has 2 incompletions, he's at a 90% hit rate, above 300 yards, maybe another touchdown. And that's without these Avengers. Don't tell me Jennings is an Avenger. You guys ain't talking about Jennings before this. You know why Jennings looked like an Avenger on Sunday? Because, one, he is good, but because Brock Purdy threw him the ball and he made plays. Okay? Don't you dare tell me that he did that and it was not that big of a deal. Now, I'm not saying he'll do that every single week, but the best quarterbacks in the league have down weeks. Okay? They have down weeks. I feel like I haven't seen a 300-yard passing game from Mahomes in forever. I've seen, you know what I mean? Like, he's thrown 3 picks this year. All of them were not very good interceptions. I'm talking threw them to the other guy. So, like, I don't know. I just don't understand the hate. I'm really getting tired of it. And Purdy's such a gamer. Like, there's that third down play. Purdy, 3rd and 4 against the Rams, late third quarter. Like, dude is just, one thing that is intangible, but you can see it, is Purdy's competitive fire. Okay? Guys that ball out, Purdy, in a way, his competitive fire, he won't talk like Baker Mayfield does, but he competes and runs around like Baker Mayfield, and is why I love Baker Mayfield. Okay? Their third down play in the late third quarter, okay, Purdy, like, Josh, throw that clip up. He's like, kind of got pressure. He pumps, makes the guy miss. He starts scrambling left, pumps again, makes the guy miss, and Purdy, like, diving, total Baker Mayfield move, diving, stretching out to get the first down. Like, as cool as it comes, dude. He is a freaking gamer, as competitive. He's the kind of guy you want to go to war with. And if you've played football, you know what I'm talking about. If you've played football, you want your quarterback to be a little scrappy, doesn't care, not scared, like, make stuff happen like that. Just love it. I love it. Brock Purdy is an easy guy to root for, and every single week, I just feel like we're getting more and more validation that he really is as good as 49ers fans say, and he for sure is a top 10 quarterback. If you don't think Brock Purdy is a top 10 quarterback, you either have an agenda or you don't know football. You don't know football. And there's not that many good quarterbacks out there. Let's be real. There's not 15 Aaron Rodgers, Josh Allen's, Joe Burrow's, whoever's out there. But if you have a guy like Trevor Lawrence ahead of freaking Brock Purdy, get out of here. Trevor Lawrence, who's just broken. Trevor Lawrence, who's lost 8 straight regular season games. Golly. Brock Purdy, by every statistical measurable stat, he has it. And he has it more than some of these other quarterbacks. Like, passer rating yards, he's second in yards right now. Okay? Most games of 130 passer rating in the first 3 years. Okay? You say, oh, well, he has all those stats, but he doesn't win games. But he does win games. He wins lots of games. Oh, he wins a lot. He's got good stats. Wins regular season games. Can't win in the playoffs. He wins in the playoffs. I understand he didn't win the Super Bowl, but he wins in the playoffs. He's got 4 playoff wins. Okay? That's more than a lot of these guys. More than Lamar Jackson. More than Trevor Lawrence. I think Josh Allen has 4, but he's had something like that. Okay? Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? The only thing people can say are things that cannot be measured or quantified. That's the end of my Brock Purdy rant. Guys need to stop being haters. Let's move on to the Niners Pats real quick. I'll do this real fast, okay? This is going to sound a lot like last week, and then I look like a dummy last week. Hopefully it doesn't happen again. Guys, there's no scenario where the 49ers should lose this game. There is no scenario where you should lose. Okay, let's look at some numbers. DVOA rankings. The Niners are at 15. DVOA is like that advanced metric as they try to measure teams. 15 overall. Patriots are at 23. Niners are 10.5-point favorites for DraftKings. That feels like a lot. That feels like too much to me. If I was a betting man, I would say the Niners win, but they don't cover 10.5. I think this has like a 10-point game written on it. I hope I'm wrong. On paper, they're much better than a 10-point victory over the Patriots, but things are weird right now. This has like 27-17 written all over it, 24-14, 31-21, something in that vein. That's what it feels like to me. I hope I'm wrong. Jacoby Brissett, okay, he's 30th in passing yards right now. Okay, he's got 368. Purdy, he's second in the league. He's got 842, only behind Dak. Dak has like 9 more passing yards than him. Ramondre Stevenson, okay, he's probably their best offensive player. He's 11th in rushing. He's got 224 yards, fine. Jordan Mason, second in rushing, 324 yards. Like, those are kind of the main guys. I mean, Brissett doesn't even want to throw to Hunter Henry, who's like a very solid tight end, but he's not going to take over the game. There is no reason you shouldn't win this game. Do whatever you couldn't do it last week. You got to do whatever you can this week to get a win and get back to 500 and start righting the ship. Okay, that's all I care about. You couldn't do it last week. That's all you needed last week. Just find a way to win. Weird division game, whatever, on the road. You have got to find a way to win this game. Ideally, it's multiple scores and everything feels great and everyone's playing with confidence again. But I don't have any faith in that. I don't trust anybody. You know who I trust right now? I trust Brock Purdy. I probably trust Jennings. Looks so good. Jordan Mason, I trust. I trust Fred Warner on the defense. And I think Fred is the only guy I trust on the defense, including Nick Bosa. Bosa, I need a sack. And I know you got a couple against Minnesota. I don't care how many sacks you have in the season. I need big moment sacks, which I don't feel like there's been a big moment sack from Nick Bosa in a long time. We could have used one against Sam Darnold and the Vikings when they went down the field and ran the clock out. Okay, they ended up kicking a field goal. That would have been fine. That would have been great. That would have been a very good timely sack. Could have used one against Matthew Stafford in the fourth quarter at some point. Like, Nick Bosa, you're a great player, but I need a critical moment sack from you. Okay. Hopefully there are no critical moments in this game. Hopefully they blow the doors off early enough, but I don't have any faith that they do. And if it's close, I need a big sack from you, Nick Bosa. That's where I'm at. Okay. Last thing I want to say, I don't think I will be bought back into this 49ers team unless they win the next 3 games. They play the Patriots, then the Cardinals, then Seattle on a Thursday night. If you do not win those next 3 games, the rest of the season, I'm going to be having my guard up major. Just feeling like at any moment we're just going to drop another stupid game. Now, you should beat the Patriots. Cardinals have looked feisty and looked pretty good. We'll see what happens. Okay, that's not a lock by any means. You're at home, so that helps. And then the Seattle game. Now, Seattle is, I know they're 3-0. By DVOA rankings, if you use DVO rankings and look at strength of schedule, Seattle has had the easiest 3-game stretch of the season so far. They have played Bo Nix in his first ever start. Okay, week 2 was Jacoby Brissett. They took him to overtime. Holy crap. And then week 3, they got Skylar Thompson and freaking Tim Boyle after Skylar Thompson got hurt. So look, all that tells me is that you're better than those teams. Fine. That's why I thought you'd be better than those 3 teams. But things are about to even out for them. They played Detroit, and 49ers fans, good news. Like, it's not all doom and gloom if the Niners can get things right. Right now, it feels awful because Seattle's 3-0 and you're 1-2. But guess what? If Seattle loses on Monday night and then you win your next 3 games, you're back in first place. That's assuming the Rams lose one of their next 3. If the Rams win their next 3, they're going to be in first place. But that's all it takes. I think Seattle's going to lose to Detroit. Okay? And then I think they play the Giants after that, which they'll probably beat the Giants. That would be my guess. The Giants look feisty, though, against Cleveland, so we'll see. But then they play you. So if they lose to Detroit and then they lose to you in 2 weeks and you win your next 3, you should be in first place. And all of a sudden, we were dim and gloom, and now we're kind of back at the top, even before the halfway point of the season. So that's what I got. But if you don't win the next 3, 49ers, I'm going to have a hard time believing in you. I really will. I still think you're a playoff team, even if you drop one of the next 3. But the aspirations of getting back to the Super Bowl, it will feel so gloom and doom. I just won't believe in it. It'd be really hard for me to be bought back in because these are 3 games you need to win. 2 of them are division. So anyway, that's all I got. That's what I got for you. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, help me make my dreams come true. So I have a production team and I don't make stupid film editing, camera angle mistakes again like I did, and I had to redo this again. So whatever. You guys are awesome. Subscribe. Enjoy football this weekend. Hopefully the Niners right the ship. I'm out.